Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your 2021 general readings, the very first general readings of the new year 2021. This reading is for the fire sign of Sagittarius. That is Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising. If your Venus is in Sagittarius, if you're cross-watching for a Sagittarian, it's all relevant, but of course will resonate differently for everyone because it's a general reading. So if you know all of your signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, watch them all for additional insight and perspective. If you find that any of the readings resonate with you and you'd like to reach out for a personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else, you can click on the description link below, click on that little arrow, you'll see my contact details there. Feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to hear from you and to work with you. I do offer a wide variety of readings. And particularly popular this time of year as well are the overviews I do, 6 and 12 month overviews, which give us a sneak peek at what's coming ahead in your life for the next 6 or 12 months, depending on how far ahead you want to look in different areas of your life, so something to consider as well. I do readings full time, so I'm pretty diligent at working with my schedule and yours to get personal readings set up as quickly as possible. Okay, I hope everybody's safe and well. I am recording these in the last couple of days of December, so I can still wish you a happy new year, a better new year, and I hope everyone had a safe and peaceful Christmas. All right. Thanks for taking the time to tune in today. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see what's in store for you for the first 2 weeks of January 2021. I am using Legacy of the Divine Tarot and clarifying with the Gilded Tarot. We begin with the Two of Cups. So it looks like there's a relationship in here, or a friendship, a partnership, a good one. The Seven of Wands, or at least a very connected one. There's some defensive energy here. The Five of Swords, a hard-won victory. The Nine of Swords, but still a lot of stress. The Page of Cups, loving messages, the beginnings of conversation. Justice, what is equal, what is fair, what is right, based on the efforts we put into things. And, oops, turned over too many. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy is the Eight of Cups, so leaving something behind which doesn't work anymore. Let me see what's behind that. The King of Wands, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, could be you. Yeah, definitely leaving behind something that isn't working. And the Ten of Coins, which is long-term stability and security, whether in relationships or money. There's a strong connection to home and family with the Ten of Coins. It can represent inheritance. You know, something that you get that represents the long, slow accumulation of what went into making it be so nice and stable and secure. It can represent family home, family money, family business, family property. You know, that which you have in your life, which took a long time to build up, but which you have now, which gives you a sense of security and stability when you look forward in the future. So, leaving behind that which doesn't work for you in regards to long-term stability and security, particularly that which connects to your home. There's a partnership or close friendship union here. There is some defensive energy, maybe arguing here with the Two of Cups and the Seven of Wands. The Two of Cups is the traditional soulmate card, best friends, kindred spirits, whether it's romantic or otherwise. It means a really great union. Somebody that you really connect with on a variety of levels. You know them, they know you. Good, bad, or in between. But it's with the Seven of Wands, which is a card that represents defending that which you've put a lot of effort and work into, standing up for yourself, for someone else, for a code of ethics or morals. I mean, for some of you it might be, it feels very partnership oriented here. So, you know, and it feels like there were some debates and arguments here about something which connects to home and family. It might be money. It might be, you know, the sort of post-holidays Why did you spend so much money? Why did you spend so much money? Why did we spend so much money? Or maybe one person arguing with the other that somebody's focus here is too much on the financial, the material security. Because I keep getting this sense that there's like two people here, Sagittarius, and they're arguing with each other about whatever this Ten of Coins represents. And because this is a general reading and not a specific personal reading, what this represents can mean a lot of different things. It can represent that somebody is not being, if they're arguing about this, it can represent that one person thinks, somebody is not being responsible for financial material things. It could be that, there might be worry over a family business. It might be that somebody thinks somebody is a workaholic. Which could threaten the long-term stability and security of the relationship itself. We're going to clarify. And then we have here the Five of Swords, which is a card of victory, although it's typically portrayed in a way that doesn't look really happy. I mean, the colors are still kind of dark and murky, even though he's just finished what looks like a very difficult battle. He's won. He's gathered up all his opponent's weapons, which means their ability to hurt him. He has his own sword. But he's injured, he's bleeding a little bit, tired, worn out, exhausted, dirty. He's won, but all he really wants to do is, kind of go home, right? So it's a victory, but it comes at a cost. Sometimes the cost is relationships or personal things. So there's a victory here, although it may not feel like that, whatever that victory is. It could mean, perhaps again, in an argument that you managed to feel as if what you were fighting for or what you feel is right was acknowledged. But the thing is that underneath the Five of Swords is the Nine of Swords, which is a card that represents a lot of stress, internal mental stress. Usually a card that shows up when you're in fear of a future that you don't know the outcome of. What if this happens and what if this doesn't happen? What will I do? Over-focusing on it in an obsessive way, thinking about it over and over again, and usually in a negative way, like the worst possible outcome, because you can't see into the future, and that's what that card's about, over-focusing in a negative way on an unwritten future. And the Five of Swords in battles or arguments can represent needing to win or winning at all costs, even if that costs you hurting somebody else or losing somebody else. So there's always an air of caution about the Five of Swords. Be careful that what you're fighting for or wanting to win or wanting to have the last word in or needing to be right, is it worth it? And then we have the Page of Cups, which is little messages. Pages are usually represent messages. Student, apprentices, energy. I mean, in medieval times, they were used as runners to deliver messages and, wait for an answer and take the answer back, sort of thing. So it usually represents somebody who's looking, somebody who's giving a message, or here it's the Page of Cups, which is emotion, water. So it could be, little flirtatious messages, I love you, I'm here for you, just something small like that. And underneath that, we have Justice, which is the Reap What You Sow card, which means that how something works out, like in the legal system or the court system, at least ideally, is based on what you do, right? What you do, what you say, not what you intend or think or want or hoped for, but what is actually done, decisions and actions. And justice is about being transparent, fair, honor, integrity, all of those things. So yeah, again, it feels like there's some kind of disruption within a relationship, regardless of the nature of that relationship, because of something which has to do with long-term stability and security of your home and family, whatever that is. So let's clarify a bit here. And the overall focus, Sagittarius, is that you are very determined with the King of Wands, the King of Fire, who is an action taker. You're very determined to leave behind that which is no longer working for you. I mean, the card before this, of course, is the Seven of Cups, which is about daydreaming and fantasizing. In the Eight of Cups, you realize what you need to do in order to find your wish fulfillment, what you really want, which would be the Nine of Cups. The card after this is, having your abundance. Here, you're leaving behind everything behind you that doesn't work so that you can go off and find that Nine of Cups, that abundance, right? You're determined to leave behind everything that doesn't work in the pursuit of that. The Ten of Coins, long-term stability and security. So again, for some of you, and with a lot of the signs for the readings for the first half of January, there's been kind of a, redemption, resolutions, with, kind of energy, okay, which is quite common at this time of year, New Year's resolutions, I'm going to stop doing this and, begin doing this, and I'm going to leave behind all of these negative things that don't work for me. I'm going to try to do things differently, budget better, lose weight, not get involved with toxic people, all of those kind of things. And it's sort of like that here, but it feels like there's an already established relationship central here. There's some kind of, for a few of you, it might be that you and your partner own some kind of family business, or there's a concern about instability in, financial and material issues that you're worried about. But it feels more like some of you that there's some kind of conflict about, earth energy things, money, finance, property, assets, job, those sorts of things. And it may be in that some of you, that one person feels that the other isn't either pulling their share or is being irresponsible with finances or money, or for some of you it might be, your focus is too much on material things or too much on work and building up stuff. Again, it's a general reading, so there's a few different stories kind of here. So let's clarify this defensive energy, this Seven of Wands. Clarify the Seven of Wands. The Devil, pretty significant instability. It can also represent, it represents toxic situations where there's too much energy in one area, which is detrimental to everything else. It's a card that can represent addictions, toxic relationships, power and control issues. The Devil represents something that we're enslaved to, something that we're tempted by, we keep returning to over and over and over again, whether the thing itself is toxic or that we just keep returning to it. It's kind of like prescription pain meds or alcohol. Those things in and of themselves have their place, but addiction occurs when we get trapped in that cycle of needing to return to it over and over and over again, or negative toxic relationships. It represents something that we keep returning to, so we're kind of enslaved to it until we break the chain in a negative way. Let's see what's behind that. The Ten of Pentacles. So we have the Ten of Pentacles, i.e. the Ten of Coins, same thing, twice. Now when we get repeating cards in a spread, it means that there is an abundance of energy in that area, or it's drawing our attention. We need to focus in that area. So there's a strong energy over long-term stability and security, particularly around home and family, finances, material issues, those sorts of things. So there's a lot of instability here around that. So the Seven of Wands, it's defensive energy about the instability of long-term security and stability, whether that's actual dollars and cents. So this could be, it's somebody who has a negative addictive cycle or a pattern of bad habits that may be costing you money. It could represent that you're using savings to feed your addiction and whatever it is, fill in the blank. This could be workaholic energy. It could be that somebody spent too much over the holidays because they're really focused on doing that. The Devil represents an unhealthy addictive behavior cycle. And it's about money or finances or something that representative area of your life. The long-term stability and security of either your financial structure or a relationship because of your obsession with that. It could be all tied up in there. And there's all this defensive energy. And it's about this union. It's like arguments or fights or conflicts here. That's what I'm getting. So And you want to leave it behind. You want stability and security. You either want yourself, I mean, it could just be you, but we've got that Two of Cups, so it likely isn't. Perhaps you in the relationship are the one being financially irresponsible, or you're spending too much in a certain area. You just keep tempting to buy certain things or to feed something. Could be your partner. Could be both of you. Again, this has kind of a very New Year's resolution-y kind of feel. You know, I want to stop doing what's threatening the long-term stability and security of our home, our family, our money, and our relationship. That's what it feels like here. So there's all of this, maybe there's conflict, arguments, conversation going on, difficult conversations. Because whatever the negativity is in the long-term stability and security, it's a hard habit to break, because the double represents, temptations, enslavement. So it's a hard cycle to break, but it feels like you're quite determined to break it. So then we have a victory, although it's not coming easy, but there's still a lot of stress with this Nine of Swords. So let's take a look at what this stress is about. Clarify the Nine of Swords. The energy feels very heavy, Sagittarius. I mean, I'm all for making resolutions and breaking bad habits and living a healthier life and with healthier behavior patterns. But it feels like there's too much stress and worry and anxiety here. Feels like somebody may need to just lighten up a bit. I mean, the Nine of Swords is unnecessary. It's not that the source of whatever the worry is isn't valid. Particularly when it comes to money and finances, we live in a world where, bills got to be paid, rent's got to be paid, mortgage has to be paid, food has to be bought, all of those things. But the Nine of Swords is worrying obsessively about it. The worst possible outcomes, And part of having unhealthy patterns around money and financial things is that actually the more responsibility you take for being financially stable, reworking your budget, especially if it's in really bad shape, you need to be kind of brutal with yourself for the first initial while. Kind of like when you want to lose weight, you have to be really rigid with yourself first, and then you can relax later on. The more responsibility that you take, the more freedom it actually gives you in the long run. I mean, because the more irresponsible we are with financial and material things, we're actually pulling in more stress and worry about those issues. So being more responsible in this area will actually lessen greatly, the amount of stress that we have. So taking control over the earth energy part of your life is actually going to greatly lessen the stress you have about that area of your life. So it looks like there was some kind of victory or agreement reached, although there's still some fear. Maybe you're worried if you can really do it, if they can really do it, if you can really kind of have a new beginning in this area. Clarify the Nine of Swords. The Ace of Cups. Yes, a new emotional beginning. I mean, for some of you, renewal in an already existing relationships, self-love, self-awareness. I mean, for some of you, this might be more emotional about a relationship. Meaning that this Ten of Coins, Ten of Pentacles might not be specifically about finances, dollars and cents, material stuff. It might be about the long-term stability and security of the relationship itself. You're obviously very karmically connected with the Two of Cups, but maybe they don't want to make like a long-term commitment, or they don't want to get married and you do, or something of that sort. You know, it could be the issue or the conflict or the arguments could maybe be not about money for some of you, but about the stability and structure of the relationship itself. Where are we going? You know, let's protect it. Let's seal the deal. Let's whatever. You know, it might be more emotional for some of you and less financial, but it could be tied up in all of those things, as often is the case in relationships. So there's a worry about whether you can actually have a new start, whether there can be a renewal or not. And then we have the Page of Cups and Justice. Loving or supporting or encouraging messages about being fair, doing it right, both parties doing their share. I'll help you, you help me. We'll, you know, we can do this. That's kind of the energy I'm getting. Let's clarify Page of Cups, Justice. Just give me a short run of cards on both of these. Maybe both of you are working flat out, working nonstop, and one person says, look, why don't you be the one to take some time off or slow down or something like that? We'll make it work. Could be that too. The Emperor, somebody who really takes charge and is really responsible and accountable, very disciplined. The Nine of Swords, again, the Nine of Swords. So we have repeating cards here with long-term stability and security, and a lot of stress about a future which isn't entirely clear. It could be too that you're promising to make changes to be more responsible and be very self-disciplined, or the other person is, and you've come to some kind of agreement or laid it to rest for now, but there's still like a lot of stress underneath as to whether or not you can do it, or whether or not this level of discipline and responsibility can actually happen. The Eight of Pentacles, working hard to build up a secure future for yourself, nose to the grindstone. And the Seven of Wands, again, so we have the Seven of Wands twice, defensive energy. There is kind of a theme of defending that which you have put a lot of work and effort into, and not wanting to have that be broken. Again, for some of you, it might be just as simple as, you know, I'm really tired of feeling like I work so hard all of the time and I never have anything to show for it. Maybe it's time to restructure things. Restructure a budget. For some of you, it might be on the opposite end of the spectrum. There's an obsession with building up security, and it's, you know, because the other side of this, Sagittarius, is that it's causing conflict in a relationship. Regardless of which of these stories is yours, it's causing conflict within the relationship because something is out of balance in regards to long-term security and stability, particularly of home and family. There's been some kind of, I don't know, argument, conflict, conversations, all of the above. You've come to some kind of conclusion or compromise, or, you know, it's resting. Feels like there's support being given, or, you know, verbally given, but there's still like a lot of underlying fear and doubt. So let's just end, because we're almost at 25 minutes here, let's just end with advice, guidance. I get it for most of you, but it feels like with the Nine of Swords, there's too much worry about it. There's too much obsessive worry about it. There's too much negative focus on it. Advice, guidance for Sagittarius. And this is a 2-week period of time, and it's a short period of time. How can Sagittarius best navigate through the first 2 weeks of January? The sun. The sun uplifts energy. light, love, warmth, laughter. The sun comes up and everybody automatically feels better. This is about laughter, enjoying yourself, fun. Yeah, it's like this is really kind of heavy. And it's not that maybe issues don't need to be dealt with, things need to be restructured, but there's an overabundance of negative focus and energy here. And Spirit's saying, lighten up a bit, have some fun, open a bottle of wine. The Ace of Pentacles. Yes, you can have a new beginning, an actual concrete new beginning. It might be too, if you're waiting on, some kind of income coming in or a new job or even moving. I mean, this might be about the actual family home. It might be leaving or moving, because the Eight of Cups and the Ten of Coins could also be leaving home or leaving a place. The Ace of Pentacles can be moving, relocating, starting a new job, receiving perhaps an unexpected sum of money that enables you to have a new beginning again. So for those of you who are waiting for something coming in or waiting to do like move or relocate, it's definitely happening. Whatever, if it's something that you're trying to do, you're able to do that. The whole energy is it's going to be okay as long as you put in the effort you're supposed to, but not this overabundance of obsessive negative energy. That needs to lighten up. You're going to be all right. I'm getting quite strongly from Spirit. Yeah. So, Sagittarius, I'm going to stop there because we're heading on towards a half an hour here. That is your reading for the first 2 weeks of January. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope at least you found it useful, So, and hopeful, because, yeah, too much Nine of Swords energy. You're going to be all right. Again, if any of these readings resonate with you and you'd like to reach out for a personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else, or maybe take a look at getting one of the overviews to see what's coming for the next 6 or 12 months, click on the description link below. Email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you, to hear from you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the January 2021 mid-month readings. And since we're in I'm recording this on the last day or two of December, I hope you have a wonderful and safe new year. And I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.